guys, it's Coach Yana, also known as Miss Ayana, also known as that girl to the young ones. And today I'm going to be telling you 3 ways that you can help develop confidence in your teenage daughter, okay? Because I was a teenage girl at one point, and now I've dedicated my life, as you probably know, to helping the next generation of young women develop confidence, leadership skills, and all the things so that way they can be the best them they can be in this world that they are inheriting. And depending on how you view the world, it's a very interesting place. So I have my notes right here. The first way that you can help instill confidence in your teenage daughter is number one, by modeling that behavior. Your daughter is watching everything you do. She's watching how you talk to yourself. She's watching how you talk to her. She's watching how you talk about yourself. So if you make a mistake and you outwardly express, oh my gosh, that was so this of me, I can't believe I did that, and da 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 da, and you're modeling that behavior, she's going to model that as well. If you are constantly criticizing yourself about your weight, about your brain power, about mistakes, all the things, she is observing that and paying attention to that. And she's understanding, this is how I communicate to myself. This is the proper way of doing that. So the first thing you can do is be graceful and gentle with yourself, so that way you are not modeling a behavior of internal malice or internal hatred towards yourself, because again, your daughter is paying attention to everything that you do. Even if she doesn't say it out loud, it's still being subconsciously programmed into her mind that, okay, my parent doesn't view herself as gorgeous or beautiful, as smart or capable, so what am I if I'm a product of her? You know? The second thing that I would advise is let them lead. Let your child, let your daughter lead. And what does that mean? It means, let's say you're going to play a game, right? And it's a game that you've never played before. Let them read the instructions to you. Let them, if you're playing Monopoly, let your daughter be the banker. It's those small things, those small acts that allow her to stretch herself, practice her leadership skills. If it takes her 10 minutes to read the directions and explain it to the group, so be it. But don't interject and stop her, because that is her way of naturally learning how to lead. That's also a great thing to do if you have younger students and you have younger children. When you're playing a game, let them create the board or whatever. If you're out somewhere, ask your daughter, where do you want to go? Make her make the decision. So one way that I do that in my one-on-one coaching is they'll ask me, because I give them assignments each week, depending on if they're in the 8-week program or my ongoing program. It will depend on what they get, but they will ask me, like, Coach Yana or Miss Ayana, how do you want me to present this? And I'll say, you do what you think is right. You know, because in this situation, this is a safe space. I don't go into all of this with them, but like, for you and I to know, there's no right or wrong way to present your thoughts and feelings to me when I'm just trying to get to know you as a person, trying to help you elevate as an individual, as a young person, and helping you grow into an adult. So it's a safe place. It gives them still the space to lead. So next time they still might ask me, so how should I do it? And I'm like, you tell me, like, however you want to present this is how you do it. Because ultimately they're going to have to learn how to make decisions. They're going to have to learn how to speak up for themselves, how to speak to people, how to make eye contact, how to articulate their thoughts and ideas in effective manners and in effective ways. So what I like to do is I just tell them, whatever you think you should do and however you think you should do it is the way that I want you to do it. That's the way that I want it to be presented. There's no right or wrong. You just go. Another way you can do that is, if you're out, you can ask them, hey, look, I want to hang out with you. Let's do a mommy-daughter day, but you tell me what you want to do. So for example, like, when there's a young person, specifically when they're older, because if they're younger and I meet them in person, their parents have to be there. But once they get past 18 and they're like, hey, we're gonna meet in person this time, if they live in my area, because I have students that live in different parts of the country. But if they live in my area and we meet up, I tell them, hey, you give me a list of activities and what do you want to do, and we'll do it. We'll make a day of it. And that's the time where we're not doing specifically any activities. There's no like oh, structure to this, like we have to do this, we have to do that. Like, yeah, they still have the activity that they have to do, and present it, but it's in a more relaxed way where after we get through the programming portion, we can just hang out and bond and connect. So for me, it's very, very important that when we do that, I do something that they want to do. You give them the ability in safe and incremental ways to make choices, to make decisions, and then you support them. You don't say, oh my gosh, I hate ice skating, if that's what your daughter decides to do, or oh my gosh, I don't want to go do this. Oh, I can't believe you picked that. Instead, while you're there, even if in your mind you have to like get it out beforehand, you have to remember that the point of this is not about you. You have to decenter yourself in this relationship. The point of this is to pour into your child and pour in confidence. So while you are there with them, you better be present. That, like what I do for my students, we have time on my calendar. And while I am there with them, I'm not on the phone. I'm not talking to anybody else. I'm not answering emails. My calendar is blocked off. Because when we're in person, especially, and even when we're on virtually, this time is all about them. I am complimenting them. I am saying, wow, great job. That was so smart how you created this. Like in one of my things, we have to do like a vision board, and then they have to talk about themselves and, a vision board of who they are currently and who they want to be. And then there's questions as well. And so when they're doing that, I'm asking questions. I'm very engaged. Wow, I love how you put this quote. One of the quotes that one of my students did recently was like, dream her, build her, become her. And I was like, wow, put that on a t-shirt. So I'm actively complimenting her as she's going through her PowerPoint, or going through her presentation. It's not a PowerPoint, but it's similar to that. It's just not the app PowerPoint. But anyway, so when we're out in the event, when we're hanging out together, I'm not like, oh, we got to walk all this way if they want to go to like a arboretum or something. I'm like, wow, I love that you picked this place. Very thoughtful of you to have created X, Y, and Z. And this was such a great idea and wonderful job, because they have enough criticism even from their own mind. Teenagers are always wondering if what they're doing is enough, if someone is judging them, if they're good at what they're doing, if it makes sense, if someone likes them. That's already in their mind. So it doesn't make sense, if we are looking to instill confidence in them, to further criticize them, okay? And likely, if you probably criticize them enough growing up. Let's be very clear there. So it doesn't mean that you're not still course correcting, but when you are in that time of purposefully pouring in positivity to them, you have to be complimenting them and affirming them. It's vital to their confidence, because they are wondering, especially if they planned it, especially if they made the decision, they're second guessing everything already in their mind about, did I make the right choice? Is this person having fun? Do they really like it? Am I good enough? All of these things are like amplified in the young person's mind. So we have to be very intentional about complimenting specific things, not just, I'm having a great time. Like, yes, okay, that's a great thing to say too, but what specifically is so fun about this activity? What specifically is so great about what they did? So instead of having blanket term compliments, you can say, wow, you did such a great job of planning out our day. How thoughtful of you. That's a full compliment. Wow, I love how, compliment their outfit. I love how you put that periwinkle top with that navy brown pants. I don't even know what color periwinkle is. It just popped into my mind. But the more specific and direct you are with the compliments, and in that particular moment, the better they will feel about themselves. Because remember, this is about purposefully pouring positivity into the next generation. This is a vital, vital, vital step. Now, the final step is to listen to them. Listen with the intent of understanding, especially when you are in the confidence building portion, when they're about to go to college. You need to be someone that they trust. A lot of times, especially high, type A personality moms are so used to always being the person who's telling others what to do, because you might be a C-suite person or an entrepreneur, you're the boss, people listen to you, whatever. However, When it comes to your daughter, when you're building confidence, you have to be listening with the intent to listen and understand. Not listening with the intent to respond. Not listening with the intent to get your point across because what you have to say is so important. I'm not saying what you have to say is not important. However, when it comes to building confidence, you have to be in a place to listen to them because when you listen twice as much as you talk, they will reveal key things about themselves, key traits about themselves, and then that teaches you quickly what needs to be worked on in terms of their confidence. For example, with my one on one coaching, I'm always asking them open ended questions and I'm always finding ways so I can say I can relate to this particular thing. Now, I've had a vast life experience. I know a lot of people. I've tried a lot of things. So I can relate to almost anyone about anything. That's why I have my podcast series as well, because that's one of my natural gifts. And though, I am really big on asking open ended questions because then it gives the children, and to me, the teenagers are children, it gives them the ability to express themselves, and you cannot judge them in that moment. You cannot hold what they say against them in that moment. You cannot go off on a tangent about, oh, all the things they shoulda, coulda, woulda. Instead, you are listening for how you felt as a teen. That's how you have to remember how you felt as a young person. Not necessarily what you accomplished, but how you felt as a young person. Everybody that's young has felt like an outsider looking in at some point. You have to connect with that. You have to connect with the inner version of you who felt uncertain about themselves. And you have to be listening, not to correct them, to say, hey, look, this is what you better do, da da da, because that comes later. But when you're building the confidence, you have to be listening to connect. You're listening for, oh, well, actually, did you know when I was your age, I struggled with X, Y, and Z as well? Or when I was your age, I understand because my mom or my dad made me feel X, Y, and Z. And then if you connect with something that perhaps you did unknowingly because of your own trauma and you pass it on to them, if you sense that, take ownership of it and apologize. Take accountability and say, wow, I apologize to you for losing my temper because I know what that felt like when my parent did that to me, and I apologize to you for doing that. Because the thing is, like I mentioned earlier, your children are, I don't know if I did that in this video or in another one, but your children, when they become teenagers, are also reconciling with the fact that you are not a superhero. They're finally seeing you as a human, and that's very sobering and a hard pill to swallow once you realize, oh my gosh, this person I put on this pedestal as my parent this whole time has just been a human. They're a human too, with mistakes and all these things. That's a very sobering reality to reconcile with. So when you admit to your human flaws and you admit to them that I'm struggling with this thing, or I don't fully understand, or when I was your age, I struggled with X, Y, and Z, it helps them connect and relate to you. To this day, even students, especially the older ones that I've worked with for months and weeks at a time, sometimes they'll ask me questions, and usually they trust I have an answer for about everything that they're asking because I'm further along in life than them. I look younger than I am, which works to my benefit working with the younger people. But there are times where they ask me questions and I just have to say, girl, I don't know either. I'm still figuring that out either as well. I don't know what to tell you because I'm still figuring this out. But here's what I'm trying. And they always get like big eyes, like, wait a minute, Coach Yana's having problems too? Like, wait a minute, because then they feel like they're not as alone. It's nothing wrong with feeling like, okay, I must not be bad if even Coach Yana or Miss Ayana is struggling with this. And I'm very honest with them. I don't know the answers to everything, but I can say, look, this is how I'm working on this particular thing. And so when you can give your children, especially your teenage daughters, a space to where they understand that you're not perfect and you know that and you're owning up to it, then they will trust you more. And then when you are listening to them, you're asking them open-ended questions, not trying to pry, not going to judge them, not going to hold it over their head later, not to get something specific out, but really just to know them as a person and really sharing them and being vulnerable with them. That will also help instill confidence in them, okay? And then, of course, if you still need help, you can always just reach out to me. My name is Coach Yana. You can visit thelaptoplifecoach.com/milestone mentor, I think. It's called Milestone Mentor. But anyway, if you go to thelaptoplifecoach.com, spaces are limited, so there's that. And there is an application process because I'm very particular about the families that I work with. I'm very particular about the students that I work with because I have to make sure that I'm a good fit for you and that you're a good fit for me too, because peace is prosperity and peace is priceless, and some parents are crazy, so there's that, and that's just the truth. That's just the truth. But anyway, if you need help with that, you can contact me at the Laptop Life Coach. Fill out an application and I'll get back to you. So yeah, in closing, 3 ways that you can help build confidence in your teenage daughter today. Number 1, model the behavior first. Number 2, let them lead. And number 3, listen to them. As always, my name is Coach Yana, and I approve this message.